Greetings, Alexei here, the developer for OpenApoc Battlescape. So we are getting really close to the release, guys. It's just like several more days and you will be able to play the first alpha release. But I've been busy and there are some more new features that I want to, tell you about. So this will also be in the release, hopefully, at least most of it. So first of all, let's start the game. So first of all, there is now a cheat code, F10, which shows which aliens are in which buildings. This is just to help you, so you can know where which aliens are, so you don't have to wait for an alarm. And for the alarm properly centers on where the aliens are and the circle is properly drawn, and it gets smaller as time goes by, as the detection fades. So that's it for the cityscape. Now let's go to Battlescape. So what's in the Battlescape? First of all these menus, at least most of them now have hotkeys. So for example, here you can press escape to have real time and enter, to click, to use turn-based mode, and all the screens, usually the enter, escape and space keys are used for different functions, and usually enter is okay, escape is cancel, and space bar is whatever is left. And in other cases, like in this screen, the space bar is to open the inventory, and escape or enter is the OK. So you might notice this screen now works. So you have the agents here. You can hover over the agents and see them. You can move them around. You can let's give some of them shields so it's easier to spot the difference, who is who, like this. So you can exchange agents one for another. You can just move them, move them to this squad, or replace specific agent, or just move the agent. And this properly works in the Battlescape. They will start where they should. So another thing is you can now unload ammo. This is the control click. You can remove the ammo from the item. This was not actually in the original game, I believe, but it is now in OpenApoc, so you can unload ammo. In the original game, you only could replace, you could take one ammo and put it in and get the other one out. Here you can just take it out if you want to. Next thing, all the debug hotkeys in the game. Sorry. Okay. I'll quickly fix this. So all the debug hotkeys in the game, basically this is not a bug, it's just the way the game builds is a bit strange, so sometimes it doesn't want to build. So I'll show this meanwhile. So all the hotkeys from the original game were implemented, so you can look at the manual here, and whatever you see here will work from the tactical game, at least. So you can use all these modes via keyboard, you can toggle displays via keyboard, you can throw items, drop items, accept here, accept settings for prime grenade. All this stuff will work. And because this is a lot of keyboard which is used, the debug hotkeys were moved, and the debug hotkeys are now only used when you press F1. So F1 will toggle between debug hotkeys and actual in-game hotkeys. So if you want to use some cheat, you have to press F1 to get there. And if you want to start using normal hotkeys again, you press F1 again. So, for example, let's do something. Just to show you this works, we will do this. Okay, so as you see, 4 agents spawn together and 2 agents spawn together. So debug hotkeys, for example, right now I'm clicking F keys and you see like these changes here, F2, F3, F4. So if I want to use debug hotkeys, I press F1 and now it doesn't work anymore, but the debug hotkeys like teleporting units around will work. F1 again, teleport, the cheat teleport doesn't work, but once again I can use these keys. So all these keys are working, like you can select squads, you can like click all this stuff. And what's nice is that in the original game there were no hotkeys for the soldiers, so I added the hotkeys for the soldiers. Like for example, Shift 1 to 6 will select individual soldiers. And for example, you can Control Shift 1 to Shift 6, you can add soldiers to your selection, so like this, and then like add one from this squad, like here. And what next? Next, you can also use Alt number to, let me get some enemies in sight. Okay, like this. Yes, unit spotted. So you can use Alt to toggle between these, like press this button automatically. This again was not in the game, but I added it just because I thought, why not? So you can also use Alt number to toggle between the soldiers' visible enemies, which is under the number. Okay, next thing, we have all the hotkeys that there are. Also, we have working alien buildings. So in alien buildings, everything works now. So for example, let's see the spawning chamber, like the spawning chamber. So your units will correctly spawn at the edge of the map. Like you can see, this is the whole map, and our units have spawned correctly at the edge, and the enemies will spawn correctly inside, like where they should be. And also the queen spawn is on the place it should be, and all the eggs are around the queen spawn. The eggs are not like anywhere on the map, but they are where they should be around the queen. So this now works, and the reinforcement spawners work as well. So let's, like, the dimension generator is the easiest one because it has the fastest spawn timer. So let's give us some agents so that we don't die immediately. This will be a huge amount of noise. 1 second. Yeah, sorry for that. So let's show the whole map and let the carnage begin. A lot of stuff on fire now. Okay. Let's turn off notifications. So as you will see now, the enemies will spawn on one of these 4 spawners right here. New enemies will enter battle. As you can see, there's 2 here, and there's 1 here, and 1 here. So again, this might not be like it works in the vanilla because there is no information I found online how it works, but we'll figure it out. For now, it just spawns 4 of the valid units, so it can be an anthropod, a speeder, or a skeletoid. It just spawns 4 of them every time it's time to spawn. And the times to spawn are known, they are in the guides. So this works, and then what else? Yes, now the alien sounds are properly, work properly. So for example, let me show here. So right now, if we, again, review the map. So as you can hear, nothing really, there is no sound because we are not close enough to hear the enemies. Now if we put our agent here, then you can hear the aliens because the aliens are close to him, and also the cries are in the game. So as you can hear, all these and all these slithers, all these cries. Yeah, so aliens now cry properly. Now, the mind probe. The mind probe also works. Let me show. So the mind probe. right, the mind probe. Yeah, just start this, just give them lots of side gem. And let's give one of our... yes, of course I didn't show, but clicking on the agent also opens its inventory like it should. So let's give our first agent the mind probe. I mean mind bender. Alright. Now let's take that agent and let's go and... what is it? Yes, this hotkey. So let's look at someone, like at this popper. Okay, we failed. Spitter. Yeah. So here is how it works. It works like in the vanilla. You get this screen, you can see the stats, you can see the fatal wounds if it has fatal wounds, and you can reopen it by left click. So if you left click a unit which has a probe active, you can see its image again, until you break the probe. So if you break the attack, then you can no longer do it. So the mind probe works, and the grenades also work. So the grenade sliders, I mean, like this thing, it properly shows like it should. So that's it for the new features. Basically, right now, the only big things which are not yet implemented are base defense missions and the AI. So we need to figure out the vanilla AI, we need someone to study it and to implement it so the enemy AI is as close to vanilla as it can be made. But aside from that, and from base defense missions, basically all we have to do is to generate a map based on the base layout. So all the maps in vanilla XCOM Apocalypse, they generate based on blocks, like they just mishmash the blocks together and that's your map. But the base map is different because the base map you have to put the blocks together based on what the base layout is. So after we do that, that's basically a base defense missions done, and only the AI is required until we are basically feature complete. But also our cloak implementation and our implementation of the cloak, the enzyme, which is the entropy launcher, which is this purple gun which destroys your items, and the, what is it? Yes, the fire spread mechanics. That is basically, we're not sure it's absolutely properly made, properly implemented. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. We will check it out and we will ensure they are in the final version. But for now, they are implemented quite all right and they are quite functional. It looks like they function properly, like they should. Aside from that, like everything works. So that was the update for today. We'll keep you updated when I finish the base defense missions. I hope soon. Basically, then we really need like people to work on the cityscape as well, and then the game can be actually playable. Like all we need right now is basically the AI for cityscape for the vehicles. The AI, basically, even the tactical AI is already playable. Just the AI for the vehicles. And just implement moving agents around the map, and then basically the game is playable. So you will be able to, and then we need to synchronize like the city with the battle. So we need to do things like put the loot into the vehicle when the battle is won, like when the battle is over, put the loot and the bodies in the vehicle and put them into the base when it arrives at the base. And we also need some like miscellaneous base screens like selling and buying stuff. But then basically the game is complete, the game could be played. Like we don't have ground vehicles yet, but not many people actually need them. We don't have like illegal actions like those craft which attacks like random buildings, but then again doesn't really matter that much, and we don't have like all those organizations raising other organizations, again not really important yet, not that important. Basically when we have vehicle combat at least somewhat properly implemented, like at least at least to the state at which is the AI here in Battlescape right now, which at least somehow looks like it's proper AI. And we do all that little stuff, basically the game will be it will be possible to play the game and complete it, like research stuff and so on and so forth, and fight and like earn money, earn items, spend money, and eventually get into the alien dimension and complete the game. So that's great. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for paying attention to this project. If you would like to contribute again, join us. We really need people to work on this to finish it in a reasonable amount of time. Thank you again and see you. Goodbye.